servant of the righteous shall live by his faith. You can see why putting all these three together constructs the theology as we know it, and it's very important for Pauline theology, which is a righteousness of faith, not of works. Works meant to Paul works of the law. You didn't need works of the law to justify you, as he puts it. By the way, my servant, the righteous one, will justify many, Isaiah 53:11. If you know the Hebrew, it goes, Avadi, I don't have it in front of me, Hatzadik, I may not have this right, Yazdik Rabin. Hatzadik is the righteous one. See, Hebrew is a very sort of simple language, doesn't have a big vocabulary. Arabic works the same way, but it's vaster because it was used for a longer time. Hebrew got into writing early and it didn't develop because it was frozen in place. Arabic stayed oral for about 1,500 more years and it had a much vaster vocabulary, but it operates in exactly the same way. So look at this. It's all Semitic languages have three-letter roots. English has a little bit like this too. The root of this word is ZDK. Now, depending on where you put the vowels in, and Hebrews don't write their words often with vowels. They leave the vowels out. So you have to put them in. In other words, like a shorthand, which makes it very difficult for people who don't speak these languages to actually read it, because you have to know the language before you can read it. In any case, sometimes prefixes are added. This is a prefix, Yah. So this is the righteous one. It's based on the word tzedek, righteousness, and see how the vowels change, right? And double, change. And here, Yazdik, this is a, I know this is crazy, you won't understand me, but this is a third form future causative. You say, what's a causative? It's a verb we don't have in English, to make something happen. So it means to make righteous. We call that justify. Oh, I'm justified. Well, what does that mean? I think I saw a movie on a movie director the other day. I want to go into my house justified. What? Justified. That's not what the Hebrew meant. It meant to make you righteous. If you mean by justify, not to make excuses for me, if you mean by justify to make you righteous, to make you just, to turn you into a just, righteous person, you've got the Hebrew meaning. If you see that means something else, that's because as it moved into Greek and Latin, it got totally polarized. Because as you see from the Hebrew, the original passage, it is, Yah is future verb, and this form is third person, he form. He will make righteous. He will make righteous. He will make you righteous. Okay? So that's, if you think of justification as anything like that, then you have it right. So the Habakkuk 2:4 is very important because it continues that idea. The righteous one shall live by faith. You who are made righteous shall live forever through your faith. That's how these things are strung together. Now, here we go here. And God told Habakkuk, column 7 of the Habakkuk commentary, this was found in the first cave at Qumran, to write down all that would happen in the last generation. Oh, well, we're in the last times here, just like we think we are often. But he did not make known to him when that time would come to an end. This is all very, very rational. We don't know when the end of the last time is. And people in Calvary Chapel could be saying the same thing today. This is closer to evangelical thinking than any other kind you'll encounter. Nor, as for what he said when he said, he who reads it may run speedily, the interpretation of this passage, that was in the previous one, write it down and make it plain and run speedily, that was Habakkuk 2:1-2. The interpretation of this passage concerns the teacher of righteousness, the leader of this community. This teacher teaches righteousness, the Moreh Tzedek he's called, to whom God made known all the mysteries of the words of the servants, the prophets. So the teacher of righteousness in the Dead Sea Scroll is an exegete, someone who knows the meaning of the words of the prophet through God having inspired him to understand this. So through whom God made known all the mysteries of the words of his prophets. And so they quote the next line from Habakkuk 2:3. For there shall yet be another vision concerning the appointed time, and it shall tell of the end, and it shall not lie. That's Habakkuk 2:3. Interpreted, this is obviously the righteous teacher's interpretation. This means, or the meaning of this passage is, that the final age shall be prolonged, and shall exceed all the prophets have said, for the mysteries of God are astonishing. That's the interpretation, not the passage. What's that saying? Then it goes, if it tarries, wait for it shall surely come, and shall not be late. Habakkuk 2:3. If you know the end of the Gospel of John, Jesus says to the beloved disciple, if I want him to wait for me, what's that to you, Peter? He can wait for me. This is about waiting and being patient. The final age will be prolonged and exceed anything the prophet has described. Okay, this passage concerns, according to the interpretation here, the men of truth, the doers of the Torah. Now that's really important. The passage relates to the doers of the Torah, whose hand shall not slacken in the service of the Torah, though the final age is prolonged. Now we have a name for that in Christianity. Any of you who study Christianity may or may not have heard of it, but now you have. The delay of the parousia. People were expecting Jesus' second coming right at the time of the documents we're talking about. But it turned out it got delayed. And we call that in Christian theology the delay of the parousia. The delay of the reappearance or second coming, or the, whatever it is, of Christ. And that delay has been going on for quite a while, hasn't it? That delay has gone on for 2,000 years now, and the way things look, unless our friends who are expecting the rapture and selling all those novels about it are right, it might be delayed for another 2,000 years the way things are going. If we survive the next 100 years, we'll be lucky even to do that, I think. But in any case, the delay of the parousia is a well-known thing. This is the Dead Sea Scroll version of the delay of the parousia, saying to those people, we were wrong. The end time is not now. Things are falling apart now. Everything is collapsing. The delay is going to be very prolonged, very long. But if you do not slacken from your service, that's really interesting, of the law, Torah, it actually says Torah, that will be, and you are